So a story is told about a man who went to his pastor and said, "Father, I want you to bless my dog." So the pastor was indignant. "What do you mean? Bless your dog?" "It's my pet dog," the man replied. "I love that dog, and I'd like you to bless him." "Oh, we don't bless dogs here," the pastor said firmly. "You might try that church down there, down the street. Maybe they have a service for that." As the man turned to leave, he added, "I really love that dog. In fact, I was planning to make a $5,000 donation for the blessing." The pastor immediately called out, "Wait a minute. Why didn't you tell me your dog was Catholic?" So the story exposes a very human weakness, the tendency to judge people and situations according to personal benefit rather than according to the Spirit of God. Pentecost is God's answer to selfishness and division. The Holy Spirit transforms us from being self-centered into being Christ-centered, enabling us to use our gifts in love for the building up of the church. Today, we celebrate Pentecost Sunday, the 50th day after the resurrection, when Jesus fulfills his promise to send the Holy Spirit upon his disciples. Today's readings present us with two accounts of the outpouring of the Holy Spirit, the first in the Acts of the Apostles, and the second in the Gospel of St. John. The account from the first reading in Acts is perhaps the most familiar. It recalls the story of Moses and the people of Israel receiving God's law, the Torah, on Mount Sinai. The disciples are gathered in fear behind closed doors when suddenly there comes a sound like a strong driving wind, and tongues as of fire rest upon them. Fire signifies the presence of God, recalling the burning bush and the pillar of fire that guided Israel through the desert. Filled with the Holy Spirit, the disciples received the courage and power to proclaim God's mighty works. Pentecost also reverses the story of the Tower of Babel. At Babel, human pride brought division and confusion. At Pentecost, the Holy Spirit restores unity as people from many nations hear the apostles speaking in their own languages. What sin divided, the Spirit now reunites. In the gospel account, the risen Christ appears to the disciples, speaks words of peace, and breathes upon them, saying, "Receive the Holy Spirit." He gives them not only his Spirit, but also the mission of reconciliation and forgiveness. In the second reading, St. Paul reflects on the gifts of the Holy Spirit within the Christian community in Corinth. The Corinthians had begun arguing about which spiritual gifts were greater or more important, with some believing their gifts made them superior to others. St. Paul reminds them that while there are many gifts, many ministries, and forms of service, all come from the same Spirit. No gift is greater than another, because every gift is given for the common good. The church is like a body with many parts, each necessary, and it's working together in unity. Pentecost, therefore, is not only the birthday of the church, it is also a reminder that each of us has received gifts from the Holy Spirit. These gifts are not meant for ourselves alone, but for the service of others and the strengthening of the church, especially our parish family here at Christ the King. Perhaps your gift is kindness, generosity, teaching, encouragement, prayer, or service. Whatever it may be, the Holy Spirit calls you to place it at the service of Christ and His people. As we celebrate Pentecost today, let us ask the Holy Spirit to renew us, unite us, and teach us to speak the one language every heart understands, the language of love. Since it is the birthday of the church, it is our birthday, therefore, happy birthday to all of us.